Alright, welcome to The Long Way Home. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's WFMU and the Give the Drummer radio stream. My name is Kris Holmes, coming at you from San Antonio. Thanks, Jesse, for Neighbor's Noise. And it's not actually boxes of 45s tonight, it is piles of, or one big pile of 45s sitting on the mantelpiece ready to go. We are, of course, going to start the show off by paying tribute to a couple of giants of music who passed away this week, Mr. Dick Dale and Mr. Andre Williams. So I have several 45s by each of those artists, and we'll be talking a little bit more about them later on. But yes, we are post-marathon, and here's Dick Dale to start us off. It's a surf beat. Let's keep it locked right here on The Long Way Home.
Yeah, look 'em all. Yeah, now mother. Oh yeah.
Mizzaloo. Dick Dale and the Deltones. What an amazing record. That just sounds so heavy. So heavy in the headphones and just when it's cranked up so loud. So yeah, welcome along to the show, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in to The Long Way Home. We've got a show tonight which is paying tribute to Dick Dale, and you just heard the Dick Dale tribute set. And we're going to head into an Andre Williams tribute set as well because he passed away too. But the Dick Dale, we played 5 songs by him, and he is really the king of the surf guitar, really one of the inventors, if not the inventor of surf music. And listening to those 45s, just the way that he plays that guitar is just incredibly heavy, and the production on those is so great. And we were talking about it the other day, how he comes from Boston and is of Lebanese descent, and how a lot of those songs were old folk songs that he then took and basically surf rockized for the surfing crowd, and Mizzaloo was one of those, and it just absolutely shreds. I remember hearing that on Pulp Fiction and just blowing my mind, as it probably blew everybody else's mind who are of our generation. I never got to see Dick Dale play, but my wife did, and she's going to come and just tell us a little bit about seeing Dick Dale play at the Middle East in Boston in the 90s. Babe, what was that like? Come on, talk into the microphone.
It was one of the best shows that I've ever seen. It was probably 1996 or 1997, and I remember very distinctly he brought his auntie on stage with him.
Oh, that's amazing.
Who was probably 4'9" and weighed about 90 pounds, and she was on stage with him the whole time. And it was really interesting how he talked about the different guitar strings that he used to get this particular sound, and the specific amp that he used to get the sound that he wanted out of his guitar, and how that was no one else was really doing that at the time. It was almost like bass strings. You would know more about that.
He was very hard at picking the strings, and so he had to pretty much on his fat strings of his guitar, he had to use really heavy gauge strings. And with his amplifier as well, he kept blowing up Fender amplifiers. So Fender actually had to make his own version of the amplifier for him that he wouldn't destroy. So yeah, that's a great story.
Yeah. And he played for quite a long time. He was kind of, he talked a lot. He was a really great showman. But he also, I know that he toured with his wife, and I remember his wife being a big part of the show as well. It was almost like a homecoming. And this was, of course, right after Pulp Fiction. So it was quite a thrill to be able to see him then. So yeah, that was a great honor.
Time. Awesome. Thanks for that. That's great. You didn't see Andre Williams?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so we played 5 songs, or I played 5 songs by Dick Dale. We heard that last song there, Mizzaloo, obviously, which is the big song that everybody knows, very iconic. But the one I played before that, The Wedge, that's probably my favorite Dick Dale song. That one is really shredding, and as a guitarist, like that's not an easy song to play. None of those songs are easy to play, and you have to have real stamina in your right hand to get all that tremolo picking happening. And yeah, The Wedge is something else. My goodness, what a song, and that just absolutely kicks butt. Wild Mustang before that, one of his vocal forays, and he did do some singing songs as well, some vocal songs, and there was some, started his career off doing almost like rockabilly stuff, or definitely rockabilly sort of influenced stuff. And that one there, Wild Mustang, very much in the hot rod car craze vein of things. On the Capitol label, we had one of his big hits, Let's Go Trippin'. That was a huge hit as well on the Deltone label. And just the guitar on that is very iconic as well, how it's like just going up and back between the chords and stuff, very cool. And then we started it off with the surf beat, which kind of epitomizes what Dick Dale's kind of about at that point in his career. Surf beat for real. He used to have these big dance shows in one of the ballrooms in California, just filled with people, and just you can just imagine the band rocking out and all the surfers with their Huarache sandals just stomping on the wooden floor, and just the whole ballroom would be shaking. So crazy stuff. Yeah, so that's Dick Dale, and he passed away at the age of, I think, 81 or 82, and so he had a really good career, and definitely. As far as like as a guitarist myself, he's one of those guys who really did a lot for rock guitar and surf guitar, and you come in contact with those songs as a beginning guitarist or as a developing guitarist, and you got to try and wrangle your way around them for sure. But yeah, Dick Dale did mean a lot to me as a guitarist, and he's one of those guys where you just kind of think that they're always going to be there, and then they're not, and it's like, wow, what a body of work, and really grateful that he did sort of get rediscovered thanks to Pulp Fiction in the 90s, and was able to keep touring and keep playing and keep releasing stuff for a few years after that. And some of those albums from the 90s are really good as well. Calling Up Spirits, which is a great CD. So we're coming off the marathon, guys. We had a great 2 weeks, gave away the prizes. We raised a bunch of money for the station, which is great because we can keep doing what we do. Big shout outs to Fleep for adopting the drummer stream, which is super appreciated. I had a few late pledges come in, which I'm just going to thank now. I would like to thank Christy for donating, and I would like to thank Ifni, which is an interesting name, for a Swag for Life pledge, which is great. And I would also like to thank Chris from Shreveport for donating as well. So thank you so much, all you guys. And I can now clear my pledge page and saying that I have thanked everybody. Yeah, thanks, guys. It's great. Misa's pretty good at pledging for us. I think she takes the hit most times. So. Yeah, nothing comes up under my name. I look on the comments board, and everyone's got their little radio sign and a little heart, and it doesn't come up on my account. And I'm like, everyone must think I'm so cheap. But yeah, that's it. I worry about things like that. Part of me, I donate enough of my time. Damn it. Anyways, you also should have. No, I'm not going to say the jokes that we had before when I was loading up the pile of Dick Dale 45s to play. That would be disrespectful. Maybe another time. Anyways, we're going to move into Andre Williams. And, I was talking to Mr. Fine Wine. I saw him posting on Facebook. And he basically said, like, what we all feel, basically, that Andre Williams had a hand in either singing or writing or producing at least 100 of our favorite soul 45s and R&B 45s. And just so many records that this guy, who was almost like an unsung genius, really. Like, he had his solo 45s, but the stuff that he was involved in the background as a producer and a writer is just unimaginable, the scope of it. And it's going to take more than a radio show set to delve into that. But I'm just going to play some of his own 45s that came out under his name because like being able to pull out all the Andre Williams related stuff in my collection it's massive. I can't do that. And so rest in peace to Andre Williams, absolutely one of the architects of R&B music and one of the heroes and one of the greatest, rhythm and blues songwriters and producers around. So much soul, great soul music produced by Andre Williams. And he was another man who got a second career pretty much from the 90s onwards and made some really good records after his comeback and rediscovery sort of thing. And so we're going to play some of his newer stuff, and we're going to represent some of his older stuff from across his career in this next set. Starting off with a 45 that he cut for the Rick Tech label, very much in sort of like a mid-tempo northern soul vein. And this track is called You Got It and I Want It. Keep it locked right here on The Long Way Home, WFMU's Give the Drummer Radio.
I see what I like, and I like what I see. Mother Nature was good to you, baby. Gave you everything you need. Look at here. You should fill it with the perfect confirmation, baby. Boy, you were built for speed. You got it, and I want it. I just got to have it. Oh, you're sweet loving, baby. 'Cause I see what I like, and I like what I see. my, my, my.
See what I like, and I like what I see. 'Cause I want what I like, and I get what I want.
Baby, you got it.
You got it, and I want it.
I got to have it.
You got it,
I got to
and I want it.
Girls, you think you had loving. Girls, you think you had fun. Girls, you ain't had nothing until I come along. I'm your daddy. You all heard about Big Jim. Big Jim is bigger than me. Now Big Jim might be twice my size, but he just can't do it like me. I'm your daddy. Look here, I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna do you no harm. I'm just gonna kiss you and make you feel real warm. I'm your daddy. Girl, if your man is evil and always want to fight, come up and see Big Daddy, and he will treat you right. I'm your daddy. I'm your daddy. I'm your daddy. Big Daddy. I'm daddy rockin' strong. I'm daddy rockin' strong. Yeah, baby. Give me some of him.
May I have a toothpick, please? Give me some of yours and I'll give you some of mine. Hey, don't go. Please. Just a little bit more up there.
Get ready, world. Here comes the stroke. little trip not too long ago to a little town called Tupelo. I seen a cat eating a good liver, whole head cheese sandwich, drinking buttermilk and driving an Eldorado barefoot. He said, "Hey man, we glad to see you here. Got a little thing we've been doing about a year. Now they got sawdust on the floor, red mud running through your toe. Stroke, stroke, oh, stroke. Now the girls were stroking, boys were stroking. I got a little son, his name is Monday. He never give me no problems till on Sunday. He came to me one day, he said, Daddy, I got a little girl. I said, well son, how do you know that she did you? He said, Daddy, she can do the girl. I said, Pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl. Well then that's good, son. Pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl. I think you know where it's at. Pearl girl, pearl girl, pearl girl. So then I thought I'd sit him down, you know. Me and him had to have a little talk. I said, son, is you sure that this Pearl is the girl? He said, Daddy, I'm absolutely positive that my girl is Pearl. I said, well, all right, son, if that's your girl, then go on out and on the floor and do the Pearl. Pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl. My. Pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl. My boy can do the Pearl. Pearl, girl, pearl, girl, pearl. Oh, that's my son out there, y'all. Pearl, baby, that's my boy. Baby, pearl, baby, pearl. Ain't he, Pearl? I'm so proud of my son, 1967. Go on, Pearl, Andre Jr., you're looking good. Just go on and suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me. Go on, Pearl, son. You're looking awfully good, Jiggy Daddy.
1967 on the Sport label. Andre Williams with Pearl Time. Just played a set dedicated to the late great Andre Williams, who passed away over the weekend, late last week, and at the age of 81, and a great rhythm and blues performer, songwriter, and producer, and definitely a talent that doesn't come along all that often. So we played Pearl Time. Before that, a track called Hard Hustling on the Avon label out of Chicago. It was a great label. It was not a very big label, but it had a lot of killer records on that label. The Stroke in there on the Checker label out of Chicago. A bit of funky soul. Rib Tips, a great R&B instrumental, also on the Avon label. Daddy Rolling Stone has covered the Derek Martin track, which came out in the 90s, or 2000s even at some point. It was later on the Norton label, and backed up by the Eldorados. And it's a great, one of my favorite records of his, like the comeback record sort of thing. I like that. I like his version of it. And started that off with You Got It and I Want It on the Rick Tick label. So he recorded for a number of different labels. You got Rick Tick out of Detroit, Norton in New York, Avon in Chicago, Checker in Chicago, Sport, which was a Detroit label. So lots of different labels. Of course, started early on the Fortune label, which is where he cut Bacon Fat, which is one that I don't have actually. It's one that has eluded me because it never turns up clean enough and cheap enough, from what I can remember, and then I just sort of, I guess, stopped thinking about it. I might have to rectify that, get a copy of Andre Williams' Bacon Fat, start looking again. Start trying to hunt it down. It came out on Epic as well. It got picked up by Epic for national distribution after it was something of a hit for Fortune. But you can't have the Epic version, you got to have the Fortune version. Gotta be original. No reissues. All right. You're locked to the long way home, WFMU. Give the Drummer Radio. We are going to carry on with the tunes. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for keeping tuned. Hope you are digging the little bit of a Dick Dale tribute and the Andre Williams tribute at the start of the show.